Hello. So the last video I said, take a C chromatic, play it in third position. You're in the key of D, don't push in the button, every note's going to work. So then I said the next video is for those who care about why this works. So first off, why is D third position on a chromatic or on any harmonica? It has to do with the name of the key, D, compared to the name of your harmonica, C, as measured by the amount of times you go clockwise in the circle of fifths. So if you look at the circle and you find the C note, that's the name of your harmonica, and you go clockwise until you get to D, C, G, D, and you were to count that, including the name of your harmonica, that's so important, C, G, D, 1, 2, 3. That's why you would call it third position. So if you had a B flat chromatic, B flat, F, C, playing in the key of C would be third position. And you could take your B flat chromatic and not push in the button, and everything would sound good during a blues in the key of C. So we're doing blues in the key of D on a C chromatic. So why does it work to not push in the button? That's because until you push in the button, every note on the chromatic is a white note on the keyboard. And there are no white notes that are on the keyboard that are not present somewhere on the chromatic without pushing in your button. Therefore, what you have is a white note on the keyboard machine. So if you started on D and named all the white notes, you get D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. Well, when you put notes in an alphabetical order, that's a scale. So scales are great because they tell you what notes are going to sound good. That's the purpose of scales. So I'm going to play that scale, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. And if you don't know where that is, you can look up a chromatic layout on my website. If you go to michaelrubinharmonica.com and go to the YouTube video archive, somewhere in there it's got the layout of the chromatic, and all the videos are, they have a description so you can find it. Now, this scale is not just a scale, it's also a mode. So what are modes? Modes are scales, but they're scales that use the notes from other scales. So this particular scale is based on the C major scale. So the C major scale, if you started on C and sang do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, I'll play that. I might actually sing that on key. How the heck did that happen? So if you take that scale, those notes are C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Again, all the white notes. And you started on D, you get a mode of the C major scale. It's the same notes, but it has a different flavor. This particular mode is called the Dorian mode. You don't have to just play the D Dorian mode. I'll play the G Dorian mode. You can play any Dorian mode on the chromatic because you have every note that a piano has. But you have to use some black keys to play the other keys. Even on a diatonic, I can play any mode in any key. Because once I learned to bend and overblow, I have every note that all the piano players have. So I'm not, a lot of people think third position is for Dorian. No, third position is super easy for Dorian. But I can play second position Dorian. I can play third position Ionian. I can do any mode in any position because I have all the notes. So this mode is very, very bluesy. How come? Well, I'm going to play the D-Dog blues scale on the Chromatic. And you can hear it because you probably know the cross harp blues scale. Second position on a G harp is D-Dog. So I'm going to play the D cross harp blues scale on my G harp. So that's what I just played here. Same notes, has a different timbre because it's a different instrument. Well, if you'll notice, when I played the blues scale, I only pushed the button in once. Watch my hands. Right? That's because there's only one black key in the D blues scale. Every other note is a white note. So every other note is not just in the blues scale, but is also in the D dorian scale. Now, the D dorian scale has two notes that are not in the D blues scale. It has an E note and a B note. You can still play E and B in a blues in the key of D, but it will jazz up your playing a bit. It's kind of like the difference between, let's say, Sonny Boy Williamson No. 2, Rice Miller, would use the blues scale, and Little Walter might use the Dorian scale. It's a little jazzier. Now that's an oversimplification. I just want to give you some image in your mind as the difference in tonalities. So basically what I'm saying is the D Dorian scale is almost identical to the D blues scale, and what isn't identical is negligible. And this is why you can play D major blues or D minor blues with a Chromatic without pushing in the button. But I will warn you, there's more than one way to play minor, and sometimes the note in 4-draw, 8-draw, and 12-draw, B, it's the same note, is a little harsh for minor, and you'd want to play B flat instead. 3-draw button, 7-draw button, 11-draw button. But for right now, I want to keep it simple and just say to you, find a blues in the key of D, be it major or minor, pick up your Chromatic, and jam along. So I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to find it on YouTube here again. I did it in the last video, but I just want to play a little bit for you, play it out. Come here. See, I can play any combination. I can play chords, octaves, double stops, any combination, as long as I don't push in the button. All right. Thanks very much. More to come.